Welcome to the top 10 most pulled comic books for December 11, 2024. I'm Mike Spider-Slayer, and this is Comic Book Corner 2.0. If you love daily comic book content, you like me helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy, I think you guys came to the right place. Consider hitting that subscribe button. There's going to be a great 2025 ahead of us with the new series Indie Gems and Marvel vs. DC. So yeah, guys, I think you will make that right decision. All right, so what is top 10 most pulled comic books? Where it's data that I get from LeagueOfComicGeeks.com. Now, this is not sales data. This is books that people are most excited about reading for this upcoming comic book week. A great site to create a weekly pull list, or if you want to know what's coming out for the current comic book week. I know whenever I get a shirt, people always ask me where I get these shirts. So check out this Deadpool shirt that I just got. So pretty cool stuff. So I know people always ask, in case you want one, go to Target, guys. That's where they have this Deadpool shirt. I think I paid $14.99 for it. All right, so on the way here with our countdown, and we always started off with the 5 books that are on the outside looking in. And the first book that we're talking about is Scarlet Witch. This is issue 7. This is not a book I normally read. This is 32 pages for the price of $4. This book has only 2,577 pulls. Not very good in my opinion. Steve Orlando. The art is done by Lorenzo Tamada. So what this series is about Wiccan Speed and Armaneth. Is that the new character here, which is Scarlet Witch's pupil? And she has to make a choice to save her pupil or the children. So whatever that's about, hey, there you go. That's a little bit of the story. I want to know in the comments below, are you guys digging Steve Orlando's Scarlet Witch? And do you like this new character that's been introduced? The second book that's on the outside looking in goes to Batman Dark Patterns. This is issue 1. I thought this one would be a little bit higher, to be truthful here. This one is 32 pages for the price of $5. I know there's a lot of comic books. I know there's a lot of Batman books, so maybe this is why it's a little bit lower. This book does have 2,693 pulls. It is written by Dan Waters, and the art is done by Hayden Sherman. This is a book that takes place in the early years of Batman. I feel like we've seen a lot of these different types of stories in the past, right? And this is case 1, and it's titled We Are Wounded. So let me know if you guys are going to be picking up this new Batman title. Our third book that's on the outside looking in and debuts for the first time on this countdown is Laura Kinney Wolverine. This is issue 1. Legacy numbering 69, 32 pages, $5. This book has only 3,133 pulls. How do you guys feel about Laura Kinney? How do you feel as her being titled Wolverine? Do you think she should just be called X-23? Or maybe she should just be called Laura Kinney, right? I don't know. So this is just another story with Laura Kinney involved. And I like the character. I think she's kind of cool. I think Tom Taylor wrote a pretty fun series when it came to her, so we haven't really seen an ongoing for a while. I know there's a lot of mutant comics right now, or individual solo series when it comes to the X-Men, but I'll definitely give this one a try. Will you? Our fourth book that's on the outside looking in is another X book. There's a lot of them this week, guys, and this one goes to X Factor issue 5. One of my favorites when it comes to the X books. I feel like X-Men is picking up steam these days. So when it comes to this one, there's legacy numbering 297, 32 pages, $4. This book has 3,385 pulls, written by Mark Russell. Bob Quinn does the artwork in here. And let me tell you, when it comes to this book, it's fun. I like the individual missions. I like the cast, the characters. I actually like how they rotate mutants in here, with Havoc being the leader. So this has been a fun book. It'll be interesting to see maybe like the overarching direction as time goes along. And our final book that's on the outside looking in goes to Storm. This is issue 3. The legacy numbering here, why is there legacy numbering? Is 14, 32 pages, $4. This book has 3,456 pulls. We're not even close to the 4,000 mark, which you would be by this point. It's written by Marway. Wow. And then Lucas Warnick does the artwork here. When it comes to this book, it looks like it's going to be guest starring the Uncanny X-Men in here, and she's going to be going to New Orleans, and we're going to have Voodoo in here. So there's a lot of like crossing over when it comes to the X books as of late, which is kind of needed to make it feel like these characters are connected once again, right? So this is not a bad thing. It's just Storm I just don't currently read. Now on to the top 10, and yes, another mutant or X book. This one goes on to Phoenix, issue number 6. This is 32 pages for the price of $4. This book has 3,571 pulls, written by Stephanie Phillips, and the art is done by Marco Renna. I stopped this after like issue 2. I wasn't like a huge fan of this, but it looks like Thanos is going to be involved, and of course the Black Order as well. Could that be fun? Yes. Is this a series that is good enough for me to read on a regular basis? Not in my opinion, but if you guys are still reading it, let me know in the comments below, and if you're enjoying it or not. At number 9, we're finally getting away from the mutant books. We got The Incredible Hulk. This is issue 20. The legacy numbering here is 801, 32 pages, $4. This book has 4,991 pulls, so it jumps up a little bit here. Written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and the art is done by Danny Earls this time around. So no Nick Klein here because he did that, monstrous 800th issue, right? I would say that this is a new jumping on point for the series. So if you want to do it, hopefully it does catch you up. We wind up getting to see kind of the outcome of what happens to Charlie. Bruce Banner was captured, right? We had a whole situation that happened with the eldest in here. So yeah, hopefully this is a great jumping on point here. And we'll see where Hulk goes. Grabbing onto the A spot, we have Batman and Robin. This is issue 16. People been holding on to this book after the transition from Joshua Williamson. This is 32 pages for the price of $5. This book has 5,537 pulls. Also written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and the art is done by Carmen D. Gladaminic. Oh, God. I thought I was going good there for a second. Let me try one more time. Gian DeMonico. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. Anyway, when it comes to this book, people been digging it. They've been digging the way Damian is and how he's suffering through this little bit of trauma of a loss of life with this little girl. We get this new villain that's involved when it comes, his name is, I think, Memento. So yeah, I mean, listen, when it comes to me, I'm probably not going to continue this just because I do need to make a cut here and there, always to make room for those new number ones and other titles. And I'm just trying to limit some of the Batman stuff. Hopefully you guys understand that. Coming in at number 7, and I am surprised this is not higher on people's list. Maybe because there's the variant that's out there, right? This is Ultimate Universe 1 year in issue 1. So it's going to kind of give you a little bit of a recap of what's going on in the Ultimate Universe. This is a 40-page comic for the price of $6 in here, and I think you're going to get a lot of variant covers. So this one has 5,730 pulls. This one's written by Denise Camp, who obviously has written a wonderful series with the Ultimates, and the art is done by Jonas Scarf. So I want to see, let me see, I'm going to click on the variant cover that has Wolverine on it, and let's see if that one is higher. So no, it's not. It only has 636 pulls. So I would think kind of the speculators out there would put this on their pull list. So if you do want the first cover appearance of Ultimate Wolverine, you will have to buy the variant cover for this. But I am looking forward to the overall story here because, you know, this is just going to give you a recap and it's going to introduce you to some things in the future. And listen, guys, I'm all in when it comes to the Ultimate Universe. Grabbing on to that 6th spot just outside the top 5 goes to Green Lantern. This is issue 18, legacy numbering 585. 32 pages, $5. This one has 5,785 pulls. That is like criminally low for this comic book. This is written by Jeremy Adams, and the art is done by Zermanico. Just a lot of stuff going on in this comic book right now. We still got the villain by the name of Theros, who's still around. We wind up getting to see like Kyle Rayner, who is the White Lantern once again. Carol Ferris is in this book, who's the Star Sapphire, who in a couple issues ago we wound up seeing her like entity. There's just a lot going on, and I almost felt like the last issue could have been split up into 2 issues because there was that much going on. But Jeremy Adams is a great writer. It's a wonderful story being told here. We're gonna get a Green Lantern Corps book back once again, so he's all in on Green Lantern, man. Are you? Top 5, and I always get mad if this book is not in the top 3 now because it did hit that mark one time. This is Transformers. This is issue 15. This is 32 pages for the price of $4. This book has 8,303 pulls. Pretty solid. It's around the mark that it should be. It's written by obviously by Daniel Warren Johnson. Jorge Corona is back on the artwork. We're getting a new story arc. This is coming right off of the story from Starscream and his little origin tale. Here, it looks like we're going to be dealing with Soundwave as he's trying to finish his war against the Autobots. And we're going to see what happens also with Starscream in the future, how there could be a civil war between the Decepticons there. So, I don't know, man. We'll see, but this book is absolutely phenomenal. This book always seems to be in the top 5 no matter what. And this is Ultimate X-Men issue 10. Probably because it's something different. It's more, like a manga, a modern style, modern storytelling when it comes to X-Men here. It's 32 pages for the price of $5. This book has 8,783 pulls. My hat is off to Peach Momoko, who is writing this ongoing series and drawing this series as well. This book is just over my head at this point. At first, we were did not have that many characters, and now there is a bunch of characters in this comic book, and it looks like we're getting introduced to another character by the name of Viper in here. So there's a lot that's going on, but if you stuck with the series from the beginning and you're digging it, dude, that's totally awesome. Glad you're enjoying it. Top 3, another book that's always in the top 5 no matter what. It's Action Comics, issue 1079. This is 48 pages for the price of $5. Has 2 stories in it. Obviously, the main story. Then we got the, I guess there's a Supergirl story in here as well. This book has 8,838 pulls, written by Mark Waid, and the art is done by Michael Shelfer. So, yeah, I mean, listen. When it comes to a weekly series, if it's ongoing like it is, I won't usually pick it up. I know right now we have this Batman Silent Night Santa Claus book. That's only 4 issues. This has been going on for a little while already, and I feel like it does get a little bit expensive. But again, if you're digging this, that's totally awesome. I'm just going to stick with Superman for right now and pass on Action Comics. Just my personal preference. Coming in at number 2 is a book where I did mention it earlier. Are the X-Men books starting to turn the corner? And this goes to Uncanny X-Men issue 7. Never has this book ever been as high on the countdown as it is today. And this one is legacy numbering 707, 32 pages, $5. This book has 8,863 pulls. Now, not as impressive as, say, some other weeks out there, but it is still a number 2 on this week's countdown, which is to be noted here. And I think it has to do with the rise of Jed MacKay's X-Men, and these two stories kind of crossing over. Kind of reminds you of the earlier days of X-Men when they used to cross over stories. It doesn't make it overwhelming for readers. It's like, oh, if you want to continue a story, read X-Men. If you want to continue it, read Uncanny X-Men. And it's a little four-parter to where it makes it feel like the X-Men are still connected, right? So, yeah, I think maybe the X-Men books could be, kind of turning around some things, right? So again, writer here, Gail Simone, and the art is done by Edgar Zalzar. What do you guys think? Agree or disagree? And coming in at number 1 goes to the Amazing Spider-Man issue 63. Legacy numbering 957, 32 pages, $5. This book breaks the 10,000 mark with 10,828 pulls. This time around, it's not written by Joe Kelly. It's written by Justina Ireland, and Gleb Malakhanov does the artwork here. So when it comes to this book, I think issue 61 and 62 were pretty much the same book. It was just like almost reversed. Like we go into Peter Parker's, people ragging on Peter Parker, the mission's at hand, he dies and he comes back. Well, this time he goes on a mission, he dies, he comes back, and then his loved ones like rag on him again, and like, it's like cookie cutter each issue. This time he's going against, I think it's Cyrus, the scion of Sidorak, who represents the inevitability of time. And then what happens is this is going to take Spider-Man through Peter Parker's past and future. So it's like a Christmas tale, like the Ghost of Christmas Past and the Ghost of Christmas Future type of storytelling here. So I don't know, man. We'll see. Listen, it's fine for what it is right now. It's just kind of like that filler story arc until we get a new creative team on this book. So we'll see how this whole thing ends out and if it possibly changes some things with the character. I'm not holding my breath, but we shall see. So now it's time for Spider Slayer's sleeper pick. This book could be really good, and it comes in at number 26. This is Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. This is issue 1. This is the prequel to the all-new animated series that is coming very soon. So you might want to check this out. This could be a lot of fun, guys. It's 32 pages for the price of $5. Hopefully this is a solid series, kind of like how X-Men was this past year, right? And this book has 1,385 pulls. Now it is written by Christos Gage, who has written plenty of Spider-Man comics in the past, and the art is done by Eric Gapster. And there's gonna be some particular twist that goes on in this comic, so it's not so like predictable. So I don't know, we'll see. Give it a try, you might be surprised. And there you guys have it. There are the most pulled comics for December 11th, 2024. What are you guys most excited about? Are there any of these books on your list you're going to be reading this week? And as always, guys, make sure you check out the content that's right next to me here. Remember, support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but always read your comics so we can have that wonderful comic conversation. Guys, thank you so much. I'll see you on New Comic Book Day.